everybody, it's Coffee Morning with me, Karlos, where I talk about a game based on top secret criteria whilst drinking my morning coffee until my cup is dry. And today we're going to be talking about Crystar, a action JRPG developed by FURYU Corporation, published by Chunsoft Co Limited, and released on the 28th of August 2019. I don't know if you've looked out of your window lately. To be honest, I've been mostly avoiding it, but everything has gone to absolute cobblers. So far in the year 2020, we've had the looming spectre of World War III. Australia caught fire. Hundreds of thousands died in a global pandemic, and we're currently topping it off with attempting, once again, to ignore the voices of both black and ethnic minorities and transgender people who wouldn't mind, you know, being treated with fairness and compassion, you know, as if that was something objectionable. Fortunately, we've got video games to keep us occupied until the right-wing arseholes all get into the sea, where their biomass can hopefully help to inflate the dwindling fish stocks. It behooves us then to try and play good games rather than trash ones in an attempt to keep spirits up. And, as luck would have it, I am here to fall on the grenade, otherwise known as Crystar. For you see, Crystar is a poor game that manages to tell an engaging story. A hack and slash dungeon crawler that sees you play as 4 different girls with one main character. Crystar has some of the dullest action. Action is not really the word that I'm going for there, is it? Lack of action? Inaction? Yeah, let's go with that. The dullest inaction I've played in the last few years. For you see, it's just so repetitive. It's just so repetitive. It's just so repetitive. It's just so repetitive. Before we get to that, though, hang out with main girl Ray in her bedroom and pet her dog. Receive phone calls from friends, and very obviously not friends, one of whom is voiced by Mona from Persona 5, which is an incredibly bad move to remind somebody of the game they could be playing instead of this. But anyway, mess about with some menus, and then it's off to the gothic architecture and lack of environment objects that constitutes the netherworld, and where the action for this game takes place. Bash those bad guys, pick up glowy things, and occasionally be a pinky coloured foe to collect a negative thought. If you get tired of doing it with Ray, you could switch to Kokoro or Sen or See, the characters are supposed to have different archetypes: slow, heavy attacker, speedy, DPS, balanced type, range type. But on the whole, they're not sufficiently different to make them actually useful enough to warrant swapping in and out. Tiresome, repetitive environments and enemies make the game a chore. It takes a few levels before the game even manages to present an enemy whose attacks warrant dodging out of the way. Such is the generous life total and abundance of healing items. Then Crystar does something that I have a personal grudge against, and this might not bother you, obviously, but it has worthless enemies and then a taxing boss battle. This grates with me, as I resent not having a decent way to judge my power level before coming up against the boss. Smashing your way through wave after wave of hopeless chaff is only appealing if the battles are fun, and Crystar's combat lost its appeal after about 5 minutes. Now, imagine you play through a 20-minute stage only to come up against a boss for which you are under-leveled. There's no way to gauge that you should have been grinding levels and skills before you reach the boss. Of course, you could always just do it anyway, but there's no impetus to do that if you don't have to, since the combat is so dull. Ugh, it's frustrating. However, the story and atmosphere really do manage to draw you in and keep you playing beyond the point where the gameplay is suggesting that it's probably time to stop. The phrase, "What's her damage?" has never been more appropriately uttered than it was by me in relation to the introduction of a new character in this game. Each new character has a 2020 level emotional trauma that you can unpack through, and, well, through beating up every enemy in the level. Anyway, I wish it was something mechanically more interesting than that, but there it is. Kill stuff, get rewarded with some sweet backstory. It all fits together with the gothic Lolita art style, which works in this instance. And the stories are well told, with just enough information each time to convince you that you really need to see what happens next. But in the end, it's just not worth it. The story comes together in a satisfying way, but only after you've repeated the same content multiple times to unlock all the endings. I didn't even want to finish the bloody thing once, let alone 5 times. Cute art, engaging story, bottom tier hack and slash gameplay. Barely worth £5 in a sale. Also, and I'm taking a bit of a risk here, spoiler warning. And I don't know where to put this because I know it's a deal breaker for some people, and it maybe would have been better placed at the start of the video, but here it is. There is a doggo. The doggo doesn't live. Thank you ever so much for watching today's video on Crystar. I do hope that you've enjoyed it, and if you have, please do not hesitate to leave a like somewhere where you found this video. It supports the channel and it supports me emotionally. And encourages the production of more videos. Furthermore, you could choose to subscribe to the channel and get more excellent content like this. Anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I look forward to seeing you again next time.